The very first trip that Lauren took to Jennifer's house was only supposed to last a week, to my knowledge, but I know that it lasted a month, and Lauren was there a lot longer than she planned to be. I'm also pretty sure that the trip only ended because Lauren ran out of money, and Jennifer and her partner, Hannibal, were trying to use Lauren as their own personal cash machine. One of the things that Lauren reported initially was that when she arrived, Jennifer refused to recognize that she was female or use her preferred pronouns of she or her, and Jennifer also refused to address Lauren by her name. The name that Jennifer would use was Frederick Chilton. As I explained before, Jennifer would assign characters to whoever was joining this new group, and Chilton was the character that Lauren was assigned. Jennifer believed that in the show, even though I don't know where she got this, but she believed that in the show, like, every single male character was attracted to Freddie. Every single one of them. They were in love with her, or she was having an affair with them. And you can see this on her blogs that are still up to this day. You can go to her old Tumblr blog. You can go to her personal blog where she writes even more about this. And you can see that Jennifer had some idea that Hannibal, Will, Chilton, Brian Zeller, like literally all these guys were into Freddie and having this secret relationship with her. So Jennifer, of course, being the Mary Sue God complex person that she is, she wanted all of the people who were surrounding her to be these male characters from the show that she found attractive and that she thought had some secret feeling or relationship or whatever for Freddie Lounds, because she was pretending to be Freddie, or she was actually delusional enough to think she was. I don't actually know.
Hey, Will. It's Freddie. I just wanted to call you and tell you that I know you and I haven't always gotten along, and things between us have been strained at best, but I'm never going to forget what you did for me. I promise you, I'll return the favor. And if there's anything I can do to help you catch the Ripper, I'll do it. Everything that's in my power to do, I'll do it. TattleCrime's at your disposal. Get better soon.
I think part of her knew that she wasn't, but she did a really good job of pretending that she was completely insane and actually believed that she was a fictional character, so it's hard to tell.
Please leave your message for Will Graham. Record your message after the tone. To send a numeric page, press 5. When you are finished recording, hang up, or for delivery options, press pound.
Agent Graham, this is Freddie Lounds. I'm just calling to make sure that we're still on for our meeting tomorrow. That exclusive that you promised me while you were in the hospital is something I'm just dying to get. Call me back. My number is 555-2623. I'm sitting out in your driveway, so I know you're home. Pick up your phone, Will. Come on, you promised me that exclusive. I'm sitting in your driveway, and I can see that your lights are on, and I can see that your dogs are out in the yard, so I know you're home. Come on, Will. You promised me an exclusive. Make good on your promise.
What I do know is that because she had this idea that, like, everybody in the show wanted to be with Freddie and wanted Freddie, that meant that, like, every person in her group that was assigned a character was somebody who was supposed to be sexually attracted to her, because according to her own headcanon, everybody in the show that she liked was sleeping with Freddie in some way. So one of her big things was having this relationship with Frederick Chilton and this Fred Squared ship that she started. I know that I can't really prove it right now, but I do remember one of the very first posts about this Frederick Chilton ship was from TattleCrime, and she was the one pushing it from the start, and mostly because of her attraction to Lauren and the fact that she wanted Lauren to be in a relationship with her. And it kind of gained traction from there. This is like her whole thing that she did, was she would get these girls and she would get them to dress up and act like these characters. As I explained before, it wasn't like that they were actually being these characters. It was Jennifer's version of these characters. And then they would play them for her. And then they would enter into these sexual relationships. Jennifer stole Roxy away from her boyfriend at the time because Jennifer convinced Roxy that this guy was being abusive. And Roxy came over and was having a relationship with Jennifer. And I guess Hannibal was just okay with this. I mean, I'm not saying people can't be in poly relationships. They can do whatever they want. But I guess it just was a thing that Hannibal was fine with. But the thing that really kind of turned the tides was that Jennifer was incredibly obsessed with Lauren. Even though she was obsessive with basically everybody who played her little game and was in her little cult, like Roxy, she was so into Lauren because of her art or because... I don't actually know. I think maybe it was because Lauren was so young and she was so naive and she was living in this sheltered kind of family and area that out of all the people in this group that Jennifer was able to brainwash and manipulate, Lauren was probably the easiest and the most loyal. And I think that's what made Jennifer so obsessive over Lauren and getting her as a partner. Because she knew that if she could do this, then Lauren would basically come and work for her and provide for her. And she also knew that Lauren was a very talented artist, so she could pretty much use Lauren's art to her own advantage and sell things and all of this stuff and get donations into the website claiming that they were for Lauren. And Lauren would just do this out of pure devotion to Jennifer. And I think that was kind of the driving force of this obsession with Lauren, because Jennifer was incredibly obsessed with Lauren and then incredibly obsessed with transforming Lauren into this version of Frederick Chilton that she wanted Lauren to be. So obviously when Lauren showed up there, she didn't want to give her any impression that she was anything else. So she was addressed as Frederick and addressed like she was male, even though she didn't identify as male. And she really didn't want to like be full-time Frederick Chilton. I know that Roxy seemed to be okay with this 24/7 role play because Roxy would like apparently show up at the house fully dressed in Will cosplay and just be Will the whole time. But initially Lauren didn't seem okay with this at all, and she reported being very uncomfortable with it and not liking that Jennifer was doing this. On top of that, Lauren wasn't allowed to leave the house unless Jennifer and her partner were going with her. So she was pretty much trapped in there unless she agreed to go somewhere with Jennifer and Hannibal. And she would chauffeur them around to wherever they wanted to go, because I guess Jennifer didn't drive. And I'm not sure if Hannibal did or not, or if that they even had a car. But it seemed like that Hannibal and Jennifer were just pretty okay with always being in the house, never going out, never doing anything. And Lauren would kind of get stir crazy in there and just agree to take them out and do whatever they wanted and pay for whatever because she just didn't want to be there. And from what was reported to me, she was like forced to do art the whole time, and it was like a slave's pace, and she was never paid for any of it, obviously. But she was also never reimbursed for anything she did on this trip. Like, she reported that like if she would take Jennifer and Hannibal to a store and Jennifer saw something that she really, really wanted, and she would demand that Lauren buy it for her. And if Lauren tried to say something like she didn't want to, or no, or buy it yourself, then Jennifer would allegedly have this huge tantrum, like in public, in the store, like a little toddler, because she wasn't getting whatever item that she wanted Lauren to buy. So to avoid this, Lauren would just do whatever Jennifer wanted, because, you know, it's kind of awkward to have a nearly 40-year-old woman having a tantrum about a little trinket or toy in the store when it's easier to just buy it for them. I mean, I can see where Lauren was coming from with this. I don't have very many details about what actually happened, and Lauren, to my knowledge, didn't really tell anybody what happened. But it was very suspicious because I do know that when she finally got home, she was broke. I believe she spent over $3,000 to do all of this. And I'm talking about, like gas money and hotel stays on the trip there and the trip back, plus all of the stuff that she had to provide for Jennifer and Hannibal, meals, things like that. So she basically went broke doing this for Jennifer and staying there for a month. When she got back, she locked herself in a room for days, and she swore that she didn't want to talk to Jennifer ever again. She never wanted to see her or speak to her. She didn't want any part of this. And she kind of just like cut off communication with people for like 3 or 4 days. And I know that her mother wanted to get involved and call the police because of whatever happened. Like I said, I don't have details, but whatever this is, it was bad enough that her mother thought the police needed to be involved. And then Lauren's brothers reportedly wanted to go pay her a visit and talk to her. By her, I mean Jennifer, because of something that happened. Once again, I don't have the details on what happened, but I would have to guess that whatever Lauren was telling her family, it was bad enough that they felt that they needed to not only confront Jennifer themselves, but involve the authorities. And the only thing that I do have from that time period that she was in this house for a month was a picture that was tweeted by TattleCrime at some point. And it's a very weird one. It's one where Lauren is in a crib or something and kind of like sticking her head out a little bit. And I don't really know the context of this because I believe the tweet says something like feeling this way right now or something. And it doesn't really explain what the context is. And I think that it was just in Jennifer's house, and it's just very weird to look at. At that point, I kind of was like, this is really bad. Because if somebody goes somewhere, and they're only supposed to be there for a week, they somehow get coerced to staying there for an entire month, they spend every last cent they have on this person who is obsessed with them, and then they come back and they want to isolate themselves. They don't want to talk about it. And they're saying that they're never going to talk to this person ever again. You have to assume that something really traumatizing or horrific happened within that time period. But no details of this were ever given to me or to Sam or anyone else. And then, of course, what happened shortly after that was Jennifer, she realized that she couldn't live without Lauren, her little brainwashed minion. So she started to love bomb her and send her gifts and things like that until Lauren kind of warmed back up to her and started talking to her again. And I think had Lauren actually stuck with her plan of never talking to TattleCrime again, she would have been fine. But because Jennifer was so persistent, Jennifer was so manipulative, and Jennifer knew exactly how to take advantage of this girl, she got her way back in, and it only led to a much more miserable outcome than anybody could have ever predicted, especially Lauren.